everybody. It's me, Rachel, your co-host. I have another host that I introduce. I'm your primary host, I guess. I'm the one who runs the show. You were the audience. You were the ones who watched the show. Presumably, I don't understand if there's a way for you to watch the show without being my audience. There you go. You're my audience. I'm the host. Let's bring on my co-host. He's really funny. He has two tiny human beings he's responsible for. Can we give it up for a D? Either way, a D.
Woo!
Woo! I never know what direction you'll appear on the screen, Adi.
Me neither. Me neither. I used to always be the last one into the chat, and so I'd be the furthest over on this side where I am now. I'm more comfortable over here.
Yeah, you want to be on the right side, like officially?
Can I?
Sure. I don't
All
see
right.
why we can't have an official orientation.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you happy on the left side?
I don't have a preference. I can go both ways. I'm bi-oriented. You guys like that?
Yeah, technically, I'm on the spectrum, but I'm further over to the right.
Yeah. This whole Kinsey scale of where do you want to be on your StreamYard. Everyone's on a different place. Adi, it's been a week.
It has.
Both in that it's been, what a week. And also, it's been a week since our last production, our last streaming. What have you been up to?
I have so work's been picking up for me, which is kind of good and kind of bad. So I had been unemployed for a year, and then in late September I started at this company, and they kind of had me in a floating management role, which was poorly defined and never really actually came together. And then at a certain point, I was informed I was going to be on this program that was going to open in January. Then that January opening got moved up to March. And so I've just been kind of like dabbling into projects here and there for the last 2 months. And now it's February, and March when we open our program is very, very soon. And so I have gone from 0 miles per hour, or maybe I was moving at like 10 miles per hour, and now I'm on the Autobahn, which is exciting and stimulating and exhausting, and it's harder for me to get dinner done.
Yeah, it's hard to do those things while you are on the fastest road in the world.
So that's been my work week. And then on Saturday, Doris and I went to look at a house that we did not want, but it looks like a ski lodge, and it was very exciting to visit. And the guy had a whole massage table set up in his basement, and a sauna, which would be unique to buy.
So, for those of our viewers who don't know your current situation, you are looking for a house. You are living in a house, but the house you're living in is not your final house. It's not your final destination.
Mm-hmm.
It's not where you'll die. Hopefully.
Also, hello, Peruli. Hello. Nice to have you. Yeah, I am in a transitional space. I'm in like a docking station of my life at this house, which is so nice and not mine. But it's so big and so nice, and I want it.
Can you buy the house you're in from your parents?
This is not my parents. No. This is a UMass professor and his spouse, and I don't know what she does. And they're 2 kids who are older than my kids. He is on sabbatical. I believe in Belgium.
Ooh.
And so we're renting their house and trying not to break it, and mostly succeeding.
So there's no scenario where you see you buying the house you're in and him deciding that he's actually like in love with Belgium, and you're like, you know what? I just am walking the streets, these beautiful Belgian streets where they speak Belgian French, and this is where I want to be. You don't see that happening.
No, these are the only. I only want the real pomme frite. He's like a pomme frite purist now. 2 months into his stay there. That would be so great. That would be
And
so great.
of course, I know what pommes frites is, but for our ignorant audience, what is pommes frites?
French fries.
French fries, got it.
Uh,
I knew.
it's like a Belgian way to make French fries, and they sell it in the street in like these cones. And you can like they're really nice. Like they'll do truffle oil and they'll like douse it in garlic. It's better French fries,
Got it.
but it's French fries.
Yeah, so I will, when I go to Belgium, I will try the French fries. Is what I'm learning. That's my ultimate takeaway from this check-in. I hope that's cool.
Yeah, that's great. I consider that more than I've given you on most check-ins.
We do this, and the check-ins are always important, and I like everything you say. Eddie, every word is good.
Thank you. Have you seen this?
The Korean corn dog that's coated in French fries instead of breading. I'm unfamiliar. I think this is a great opportunity to share my screen. We're gonna look at this stuff together just for a moment, because this isn't what the show's about. Not this. As beautiful as our opening banter is this what the show is about?
No.
Let's find. So it's a Korean dog.
Korean corn dog. It was right there. Oh, also, I had great Korean food this week. Western Mass delivered on one ethnicity of food so far.
Let me try French fries.
If you come out to Amherst, the farming town of Hadley is where you want to go for Korean food.
So those are French fries. They're not. It's not like the
damn. The Gamja hot dog. Just playing right toward the Western potheads with the Gamja.
Yeah, we could really watch this. This looks pretty cool. Again, not what the show's about. Although, if you do want to make it, here's.
It looks amazing. Well.
But,
okay. I want that. I'm gonna try it. That's my mission for next week. In addition to making a meme for next week, I'm gonna try and make these corn dogs.
I will say that you made the sound of alarm that made me like afraid that like porn had like appeared in a pop-up. Like it's very alarmed gasp, and I'm like, oh no, did I screen share the wrong thing? But you were just excited for this corn dog.
Yeah, no, now you know the noise I make when I want to cook something.
Well, we need to figure out what noise you make when there's accidentally porn on the share screen.
I just turn ghostly white and do this.
Well, like he can't see you when I'm sharing the screen.
Oh, okay.
So it
has to be a sound. Porn. Can it be that?
That's it. That's good. Sam Jam Rob says, oddly enough, one big French fry covered in hot dog chunks sounds pretty gross. I don't know. I think if you can hold it together. Let's Google that. This is the last Google of the night in this.
Yeah, truly. I think I'm with you. I think I would still do it. As long as the hot dog chunks were like cooked. Like if they fried the whole thing together.
Let's go
there. If it's just like wet cut up hot dog that's out of the fridge, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so we're not really we're getting more of the corn dogs. We're getting more of the real things that exist and not the made up things we said for fun. I don't know why. This looks pretty good.
That looks delicious. So that's like turning French fries into nachos almost.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's great. Can you go up a tiny bit in your thing? Yeah, what's that massive thing with cheese?
Thing?
Yeah.
This is called a hot dog variation from Wikipedia.
Hot dog variations. Oh my god, I loved their deconstruction.
So according to this is a New Jersey breakfast dog with cheese, also known as a danger dog.
Yeah, danger dog.
Yeah, it looks like it's deep fried, bacon wrapped Jersey breakfast dog. Originated in Mexico. Main ingredients: hot dog, bacon, hot dog bun, various toppings.
How did New Jersey get this when it was invented in Mexico? I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's cultural appropriation, New Jersey, and I blame John Serpico, our guest from last week.
It looks like it's a variation called the Jersey breakfast dog.
Okay.
They add cheese and scrambled egg to it, so it's a little bit different.
Okay. All right. Texas Tommy. He's found in Philadelphia, like a franchisee.
I don't know what's going on. Why is Texas Tommy a Philadelphian dish?
And what is a French? If you can only define it by saying it's like a made up thing, I think you need better words. I think you need more words.
That looks pretty good though. Anyway,
Texas Tommy. Ugh, Texas Tommy. Yeah, shall we segue to some tweets?
Yeah,
some Texas tweeties.
Yeah, I was thinking of like how to do that, and then I'm like, my brain is tired. It's not. My brain's like, you need a segue. Fuck you, maybe. I don't know. Fuck yourself. Oh, this is the first. I'm gonna get. First of all, the sound is incredibly important on this clip, so let me make sure that my volume is working. This is a clip about athletics and about failure and about the ways the human body does and does not survive and function and thrive. So we're gonna turn up the volume real big so you guys can hear it at home or wherever you watch the stream. Here we go.
Oh, the gate to the groin for Yannick Bertrand, and you could hear it. And if you're a man, you could feel it. Wow. Again.
Yeah!
Judgment. Oh, monsieur. I need a hug.
The oh monsieur is so gross. It's like so skeevy.
Oh, Mister, you're
oh monsieur.
your junk is so. So this has 100,000 likes. This is the funniest sound a human has ever made.
It's like a more painful Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, they're like they should replace the Wilhelm scream. They should retire the Wilhelm stream and raise its jersey to the rafters and replace it with the sound of this man nailing that checkpoint with his crotch.
Yeah, no, this will live on in Scream Holla. Yannick Bertrand. I saw these. These are fantastic.
And I do feel bad because you feel like getting hit in the nuts, it should be enough. That all of this sort of everything else is just an insult to the injury, literally. For example, I don't think it's fair to change his Wikipedia article to a skier who took a massive shot to Here's when you Google him.
Oh, monsieur.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say that like every time someone tells a joke that bombs.
Oh, monsieur.
Oh, monsieur.
He's also assumedly he's a philanthropist, but of course, as any philanthropy gets second billing to the massive nut shot.
Did you see the follow-up about whether or not he had kids?
No.
Oh, yeah. So someone commented somewhere in in this thread about him so it turns out he had kids a couple years later, so the damage wasn't permanent. And then someone responded yeah, I don't want to butcher this person's response to it because it was funnier than I will be. Maybe do children. Oh, here's what you do. Do Yannick Bertrand and write the word stripe.
We're going into a deep cut here, folks. Stripe.
Yeah. Ah, nothing. All right. I'll just try and tell you this joke because it killed me for a solid few minutes last night. So one person commented and looked up that he had a couple children a few years later and said, so the damage wasn't permanent. So luckily the damage wasn't permanent. And someone followed up, by any chance were those children born with a big dark stripe across their bodies?
Oh my God. And someone was like in the comments, they're like, wouldn't this happen a lot due to the nature of the sport? And someone else was like, it's probably fairly often, fairly normal to hit those markers, but a laser, and this is what they said, a laser targeted net shot like this is probably pretty rare. So according to the comments of this particular post, people feel like this is a really like a blue moon event, if you will.
I mean, I think that's right, and I think were it more frequent, we would see a drop off in people skiing, in skiing slalom.
Yeah, it would be considered part of the sport itself. Like the only people who would be skiing are those who are ready to take on that pain, perhaps born without feeling in their nuts, or have gone through rigorous training to decrease the feeling in their nuts. Those would be the people doing this event in that case.
Imagine training for years for this event and losing it all because you got a flag to the balls.
Oh, what's funny is one thing I was reflecting on, because Jackass Forever just came out, and I was watching clips of Johnny Knoxville, getting his nuts hurt and him being harmed in various ways. And it's all very funny. And one thing that I hate about myself is how it is just slightly funnier when it's not someone who signed up, who explicitly signed up for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of, I get it. And I agree that it's funnier that way. It's also like it's been years since this happened, which actually did not. I learned after I laughed my ass off to it, so that doesn't contribute. No, it's the scream. That scream is just, I don't care what makes that scream happen. It's gonna be funny.
It's ripped from the soul. It's a type of scream that makes you learn something about the ways that a human being can sound. You're like, I didn't know we made that sound either. We're all learning a lot all at once, all together.
Yeah. Yeah, in some ways it pushes us forward as a species.
Yeah, so that was, I thought, very important to review this week on the show, despite the fact that this is a years old clip. I think from at least 2007, 2006, but I believe that's when it first appeared on YouTube. But because of the recency of this tweet and how popular it became, I thought it was necessary to review it today.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with that. There's also the Winter Olympics. It all makes sense. It's we're this is the period every 4 years when we are interested in skiing.
Yeah, otherwise I'm like, that. You mean the rich people thing that they do?
Oh yeah, the Alps. I won't go there.
Sam Robb brings up, I think it had to do with not being able to immediately lie down. I screamed too, knowing I had to maintain control of my body. Yes, I think that if you could just lie down and just scream into the ground, I think that's where the scream would be received otherwise. I wanted to move on to this tweet. I love it because I feel like I have to share tweets on the show when the tweet is very simple and people went fucking wild for it. So this is another tweet that has 132,000 likes. So you're thinking whatever was said in this tweet had to hit a nerve somewhere like deep inside all of mankind who read it. And the tweet is just, Guy on Jeopardy was just announced as a stay-at-home uncle.
My immediate question is, who's home?
Yeah, there's a lot of follow-up questions, and one of them is where is his uncle staying?
It has to be at his siblings and nieces and or nephews' house, because otherwise you're just a single person without a job.
Yeah, otherwise you're just you're a good self-marketer. You really know how to talk about your situation. Someone wrote in the comments, and he won, and his single Jeopardy post-commercial story was about blowing a conch at a straight wedding, and he ruled.
Yeah. Can we find this guy? Can we?
I think maybe. Hello, Golden Girl Amanda Sweet.
Hey, nice. What's up, Amanda? How's the weather out there, Amanda?
I don't know if we'll find
She's in Los Angeles.
Oh, Golden Girl Amanda's in Los Angeles?
Yes, she is.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. You two know each other?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know anybody, so I don't know. Like, I'm always like, who are you? Whenever someone new walks into the room.
Hot and dry. Do you want to know someone?
Sure.
Okay, Amanda, I'll connect you with Rachel later. I love it. I love it.
I literally heard him saying, as he was saying this tweet, and he looks very spiffy. I did not know if that was the look I had in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to say yours and then I'll say mine?
Say yours what?
What you envisioned. Stay-at-home uncle. The first thing you thought it was.
I mean, when I heard stay-at-home uncle, I thought of Uncle Joey, like a guy with like a fun shirt who has a puppet. That's what I thought. What did you think?
I thought of someone who is much more slovenly, someone who is mooching, a moocher, and who clearly is only really good at Jeopardy was what I kind of envisioned, and like their not goodness at other things would have come through in their appearance.
So
I really love that he called it a straight wedding.
I really love that you can find his picture if you Google stay-at-home uncle Jeopardy. Very easy.
He won 2 days. He won 2 days.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, the Uncle Buck type. Exactly. Thank you, Worst of Tims.
And his name is Lawrence Long from East Bend, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So his name's Larry Long.
Larry Long. Larry Long. Yeah, I didn't envision. What I did not envision was like a really put together, like almost like his look feels curated, but not to the sense where he's like ironic in any way. Like it's not. He has made every single choice to just reflect what he likes to wear. And how he likes to look. I appreciate this person so much. I appreciate Larry Long.
Yeah, I think we're instantly all big Larry Long fans here at the channel. Haven't heard a word of him speak. We just really love his look and his outlook, his conch playing, and the fact that he is a stay-at-home uncle. We're all very into him, and we hope that he's the new host of Jeopardy.
Good old double L.
It's like he couldn't take an L because he already has so many L's in his name. He could only take a W. That's all that was left.
Yeah, he's reached L capacity.
I will say that it's very funny that Jeopardy still doesn't have a permanent host.
I like it. I like it. They just keep stepping on little hornets' nests.
And I love that like every guest host is like the worst.
His nickname is Skip.
Skip. He could be Larry Long. He goes by Skip Long. Skip.
So, side anecdote, not a story. For sometimes in my life, I don't enjoy how like at restaurants or things where they take your name and call it out. I don't like that they get my name wrong. So sometimes I give them made up names.
Uh-huh.
And I have two that I give them. I give them Phil and I give them Skip.
Mm-hmm.
Skip Heller.
You go as Skip at restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. You go by Skip Heller.
Skip Heller. Well, it's nice because they're not going to call out. It's not like I'm giving them Dave and three guys named Dave are coming up. I'm always going to be the only Skip in the room.
Unless
the only Skip getting lobster at the Lobster Pound, you know?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever met a Skip. I don't think I've ever met anyone who went by Skip.
Skip, my name on OkCupid when I met my now spouse was Skip to the Loo. I really enjoy the name Skip. Also,
Peruli is making an excellent point, which we both missed in our ardor. Skip is a member of Winston-Salem's Bunker Dogs improv troupe. Yes, he is an improviser. Our favorite new Jeopardy contestant does improv. Now, does he do short form? Does he do long form? Is he a Herald guy? Does he like game? Does he like organic play? We'll never find out because I will never answer the survey question.
Separate question, not a survey question, but a me question. Yes. I don't think we could get Skip as a guest on the show now.
Yeah.
But I think in 3 months we could.
Absolutely. And I know already the question you're asking me, and I will put it in my calendar in 3 months. Try to get Larry Skip Long on the show and look at tweets with us. That's going to happen. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I want to try and get him. We'll still be going in May, right?
You know, I can't see how we don't.
Okay. Because May's my birthday and Skip on the show would be a birthday present.
Okay. Now I'm like wondering how to get him. I don't know if he's on social, but I'm like, if he is in the improv scene in North Carolina, where he's from,
I think I have people.
We both have people. We're like, we can make this happen. All improvisers know each other. We're all Kevin Bacons in our own communities. So everyone look forward to seeing Skip Long on the channel in May for Skip Heller's birthday.
He's going to become a 2MB person now.
Yeah, we're going to get him. I'm going to get him.
Yes.
I'm going to get him. The more I say it, the more weird and malicious it sounds.
Yeah. The most dangerous prey, Skip Long.
So we're going to move on from Skip. We're going to sideline Skip for a moment and talk about this tweet, which is really a thread. This thread has 112,000 likes, and it's from 3 days ago. And it says, I want to click this clickbait so bad. So this person found this clickbait that they thought was very enticing, and everyone else did too. The clickbait says, a child claimed he's from Mars, then issued a warning that has experts worried.
Has experts worried.
And so we all know that there's some really wild clickbait out there. It's always like, woman was pregnant for 20 months. Man found in bed with mysterious object. It's all just trying to get you to be like, well, I need to answer what that was, or I need to know what that looks like.
There's always one like, it'll show like Jonathan Lipnicki, the kid from Jerry Maguire, and it'll say, "You won't believe what he looks like now." And if I'm at one of my low moments, I will click, and they won't show you.
They won't show you. They won't even do you the service of answering their own question.
Yep.
It completely weaponizes your own curiosity, which I think is hilarious. So Peruli is entering it in the chat. Bariska
Here we go.
is alleged that he is a Martian turned human. He claimed his race disappeared from Mars due to nuclear war. According to the kid, there are numerous clues that point out the same outcome on Earth, and it may happen soon. To prevent human extinction from happening, Kipriyanovich explained he was sent to relay a warning for Earth citizens.
So here's my theory.
Mhm.
The experts that he has worried are not experts on the topic that this is. They're like stamp collecting experts.
Yeah, they're experts in how to balance marriage and work.
Right. Expert, closet organizers. They're
They know all the state. They all know the state capitals.
Backwards. They know them backwards.
And obviously this is going to be a tweet thread that I send to Jess Bryant, who does our every other Friday midnight show called The Midnight Creepout. This feels like a subject for her because they love doing stuff like this. But let's go into the thread a little bit. The second tweet in this thread is, "Fuck it, I'm doing it, I'm going in." So this becomes a thread. A tweet becomes a thread this way when you decide you're going in. So the first tweet is Boris the real deal? Someone says that in journalism, if you ask a question, it's always no. It's Boris the real deal. But that's just a truism. That's not true. According to his mom, when he was born, he was a little different from other babies. Nadja Kipriyanovich told Pravda, "When they showed the baby to me, the boy was looking at me with a grown-up look. I don't know what that means. As a pediatrician, I know that newborns cannot concentrate looks on anything. However, my little baby was staring at me with his big brown eyes." So she knew something was different from the kid because he looked at her. He looked at her and she's like, "This baby is an alien baby." Glad we cleared up that why.
Those are the two options.
Those are two options.
Doesn't stare at stuff, human. Stares at stuff, Martian.
And already I love that he's getting his alien rat tail. This is not the hairstyle of a
seemingly normal upbringing.
But that unusual look was only half of it. Now I have to tell you, if he looks at you funny and that's half of it, I'm already losing interest. It should have been like a quarter of it or a tenth of it. According to Pravda, scientists at the Russian Academy of Sciences measured the boy's aura. I don't even think that's a thing. Apparently, it was exceptionally robust. It had an orange hue. These aren't science tools. You have to pretend that you're talking about scientific things. Professor Ladislav Lukashenko claimed that this meant Boris had a powerful intellect. This isn't how science works.
That's not how science works, and also that's humans have that.
And also, it's not how auras work. Orange does not mean intellect. It means that he has a gentle nature. Further evidence of Boris's talents came when his parents gave him a construction kit. According to Pravda, he quickly and skillfully began to create accurate geometric shapes. And she was beginning to feel uneasy. She recalled, "I had a very weird feeling that we were like aliens to him once he was trying to establish a contact with."
Can I interject as the podcast or the stream's parenting and children expert? That's kids.
That's kids.
That's 100% kids. I'm really concerned about her child healthcare practice because, especially when they're really little, they just give weird and different looks like a lot of the time, and they'll stare at weird things and then not stare at things they should.
and they don't know anything, and they don't know how to act. And I think that's funny.
Hold on. This is big. Heather K's son is very good at Lego.
Oh no. Well, maybe you also have a Martian baby. Truly is like, I think this child might just have autism, which is very much fair and very much on the table.
Yep.
So let's move on. My phone crashed after screenshotting this. Okay, that is too fucking weird. Fuck that. Hell no. I'm out. So this is what the last thing this person's phone let them screenshot. And then there were young Boris's claims of being a Martian in a past life. Speaking of his alleged time on the Red Planet, he has said, we could travel in time and space flying in round spaceships, but we would observe life on planet Earth on triangular aircraft. Yet Boris predicted dire times ahead for Earth, saying catastrophes will be connected with water.
You want me to tell you something my 3-year-old told me the other day?
Yeah, let's go for it.
She said, so we're Jewish, for the chat, and this is relevant. She said, when I was your age, I was a Christian, and I did not have a car. So kids say things.
Yeah.
Kids say things.
I do think Kit brings up an excellent point, which is that we need to find the original Russian article. It's possible it sounds more correct or more plausible in the original Russian. We will be looking for that. We will be asking our interns to look for that for next week.
Oh, that's great.
In the meantime, yeah.
Kids can say some really creepy stuff. Thank you.
I was watching TikToks earlier about kids who don't know how time works. And so this child was asking her mom if she was alive during the colonies, by which she meant the American colonies. And then the mom explained to her that she was born in 1989. And then the child was like, okay, but did you live during the colonies? Like,
it's fantastic.
no.
Yeah, Sydney firmly believes that the difference between a lot of minutes and not a lot of minutes is 6 and 5.
So like she's like, it takes no time at all. She means 5 minutes, and she's like, I need forever to get ready. She means 6 minutes.
Yeah, I think really what it is that 5 minutes is kind of the limit of like what she can conceive of, and everything else is just beyond.
I love that. I love that very much. How high can she count up to?
She can count easily to 20, but she always skips 16. And I think she could go up to 30, but she just doesn't try. But she gets how the 20s work, and it seems like, and she knows about 30, so it seems like she should know how the 30s work.
He's like, I don't know how 30s work.
Yeah.
So speaking of Russian, this is the next one I wanted to bring up. So this has 51,000 likes, and the caption is, this is a perfect tiny horror story. And this is again translated for American readers. And it's somebody on a forum, I think it's on Facebook actually, saying, Dear rugged techies, please help me understand the strange effect. When I photograph this jar open, these dots show up. And when I do it close, there's almost none. The inside is empty and doesn't smell like anything. Admin's note, I hope you weren't carrying this thing around in your pocket. So you may be wondering what this post is referring to, and I read the replies, and apparently if something is highly radioactive, it will disturb like the photons that are picked up by your cell phone camera to create this sort of like starry night effect. So the reason that it was happening is because this used to hold extremely radioactive components that the man put his face inside. He put his face inside this jar, and so he is going to be sick.
Yeah, or like have weird stuff grow on him. Like extra noses.
So yeah, I love I love it when there's just like a little horror story. Obviously, I don't like harm to come to anyone, but I do love like dramatic irony and learning something new. So in that
Yeah.
case, this is a successful story.
Yeah, and very economical. There's a lot of it's almost like a poem. It's great. Dear rugged techies. I love that opening. I love the mystery of why he has this jar.
And nobody, there's no more information. I hope he's okay. But that's just, if you're a rugged techie and you find a jar and it makes little dots of light, be careful. Be careful out there, you guys.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
And if you know any rugged techies, please alert them to this. Actually, share the show with them.
So we're going to move on now. This is another tweet that was very popular this week. Almost 200,000 likes. Very short. It's very simple. Our system is shit. I'm 24 and only have 2 years left on my mom's health insurance. Then I have to find a new mother. Which I thought was just like a fun little joke.
And it fucking took off.
And it fucking took off. Yeah.
It's a good joke.
Yeah.
I hope she does stand up.
According to this, she is a yoga instructor and comedian. And is this Sunday at 2 p.m. is Cincinnati's first Yoganana's 1 hour yoga class followed by a comedy show.
I believe that's supposed to rhyme with banana.
Well, I don't know how to do that.
Do you say bananas?
I don't know what I say, Adi. I black out every time I say the word bananas. I have remembered saying bananas. Yoga.
I feel like we're close to a breakthrough. Let's keep talking about this.
No, I don't want to. So, Adi, how many mothers have you been through to keep on your parents' health insurance?
I've been through 2. Can I count my mother-in-law? She feels like a mom to me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But although I didn't get health insurance through them, but if I could, they would give it to me. I also have changed health insurance, I think, 4 times in the last 6 months. That's too many
times.
Yeah.
Can I ask, why did you change your health insurance? Was it 4 times in 6 months?
I think that's what it is. So we were, no, we've been on 3 health insurances in that time. So we were, no, it's 4. So we were on Doris's BU health insurance, and she worked there through September, but we were able to kind of work it so that we were on that insurance for 1 extra month. And then we switched over to my current health insurance with my current work for November and December. And then for January, we had to do 1 more month on it, but the benefits changed, so it became a new insurance for January. And then starting in February, now we're on Doris's UMass health insurance. It's a very, very good system.
Yeah.
Employed people who are doing great in many countries have those things to deal with.
Oh, one of my favorite, I mean, most poignant tweets I read today is apparently you're supposed to be able to get coverage of free, I forget, you're sent these free tests by the Biden administration, and the Biden administration says that your insurance has to cover these tests. and that's how they're free. And someone was like, I invoiced my health insurance to cover the tests, and the insurance came back charging me for the tests.
Oh my gosh.
And that's just a fun story, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm sure if they put in 3 to 12 months of work, they can get that money back.
Yeah. It is funny, like, how there is this, like, level of, like, how many people in America are employed basically to help deny other people getting the healthcare they need. Like, how much of the economy is just based on healthcare denial?
Well, it's interesting. So, because I work basically in health insurance, not I deal with it for work and help people navigate it. And what I've learned from talking to a lot of people at health insurance companies is that they're very well built to not actually ever attribute the decision to anyone. So it's like, for the most part, almost everyone I've come into contact with to help me navigate stuff that works for insurance companies is totally well-intentioned and is like some different version of me where they're like, this system sucks and I can help people get through it kind of thing. And so it's I don't think it's a ton of people employed doing that is my answer. That I think it's senior leadership at these companies and like lobbyists.
Oh, the lobbyists.
Yeah.
As an aside, has bringing us a new knowledge. They found an article in Russian on Pravda, and it starts with the British tabloid Sun published the revelations of a Volgograd resident. So it sounds like the Russian child Martian story was actually sourced in a British tabloid that the Russian media then picked up, and then that bounced from Pravda back into this clickbait ecosphere. So it's kind of going back and forth between English and Russian.
The system is working perfectly.
System is working. And I think that's most of my tweets for this week. I think there's one more.
Okay.
This one. Yeah, I have fewer tweets this week than usual.
Yeah. This has been a quieter week for you or the internet or both?
I've just been really in my I've just been listening to my romance novels really hard this week. I basically started and finished a book yesterday. So that's 7 hours long. It's really great. It's really great. Quick recommend Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. This book rules. This book is really, really good. It's real good. It's a historical queer romance that's also a farce. And it's the funniest thing I've ever read. It's one of the more romantic things I've ever read. So just pick it up or buy the audiobook. The audiobook also is awesome. But I really liked it. So
this the one you spent 7 hours with yesterday?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So basically it's about this Duke, and I won't spend too much of this show on it, but this Duke is like, I don't like this woman, but I promised my father, before he died, expected me to marry her. The woman doesn't want to marry him either, so she runs away. So he and her twin brother are chasing her to find her. And of course the Duke is falling in love with the brother, but the Duke doesn't know he's gay, and he doesn't know that gay people exist. So he doesn't know what his feelings are, and he has terrible gaydar. And one of the jokes of the book is that almost all the characters they run into are gay, and he just never knows what's happening. And also he keeps making choices. He just tries to solve every problem with his status and wealth, and it never works, and it just gets him into worse scenarios. So it's very farcical. If you've ever watched a show where things just get worse and worse, it's exactly like that. It's a love story. It's a comedy. It's really good. It's Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. Everyone should read it. It's very, very funny.
That sounds like it should be a TV show. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's it's also is one of the most intentionally funny love scenes I've ever read. Like, we always talk about how romance novels have love scenes and sometimes people like laugh at them, but this is the most intentionally funny one I've ever read. So definitely check it out. I'm reading another one of hers right now. I'm sorry, him. I think Alexis is a him. I'm reading a new one, or other new for me, but this is the one I just finished yesterday.
Nice.
Have you done any reading lately, Adi?
Not really. I have 3 books I'm in the middle of. One of them is a comic. One of them is it's the comic run that the Hawkeye TV show took a lot of stuff from, and it's great. Really, some of my favorite comic art I've seen in a long time. And I am reading 2 parenting books that I've been reading for a long time.
What are those parenting books?
One is so it's like how to raise your spirited child, how to raise a spirited child, I think it is.
Let's look at that one. This one?
Raising Your Spirited Child, yes.
Wee.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's a newer version than I have, but yeah.
There's one version where she's hanging from a tree branch.
Yep, that's the one.
And then there's one where she's just running through like a sky.
Yeah. That looks too... I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have bought it if I saw that cover. That looks too hippy-dippy to me. This looks grounded.
Which is ironic because she is hanging just by the skin of the teeth of her fingers.
Mm-hmm. But it's a very wonderful book about just understanding that your kids' quirks and fixations and the things that challenge them are also indicative of strengths and values, and how to identify them as things to give space to, and kind of ask questions of and learn more about. It's great. I really like it a lot. And it's been very, very helpful for me. And then the other one is fantastic for the parents out there. It's How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen.
This one sounds like a fun one.
Yeah. It is very helpful just in terms of giving me strategies for different ways to there's like this incredible breakdown. I think it was a McSweeney's it was a McSweeney's article about essentially about like a 3-hour attempt to get the kid out the door. But it's like a tour guide's guide to all the stops along our tour through the house to get to the door and out of it. And so honestly, and this is I want to make a workshop for this at some point about how to use improv in parenting, because stuff like it's been so helpful for me to personify. If I give a voice to Sydney's boots that she won't put on, and they are sad because their job is to help keep her, dry and warm when she's out in the snow, and they don't get to do their job and they're sad, then she gets to do them a kindness, and she wants to do a kindness. If I'm sitting there yelling at her over and over again, put on your boots, put on your boots, put on your boots, then she gets to win the game by not putting on her boots.
That's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
I would just and this is why I'm not a parent. My first inclination is when I hear about this stuff, I'm like, I would just pick the kid up and put the boots on. But it sounds like it's hard to just make kids do that. You have to get them to believe that they have agency in the world.
Yeah, they start kicking you if you do that too much. You can do that sometimes, and I do.
Uh-huh.
Also, it starts to really hurt your back.
Okay. You're like your body will break down unless you it's either your body will be destroyed over time or you give the boots little fun voices.
Yep.
So that they'll put on the boots because the boots are sad.
Oh. And it's really funny because sometimes she'll be like not in the mood to be a pain in the butt. Yeah, they do kick hard. They can kick really, really hard. But sometimes she'll just want to play that game. Like she's ready to go, but she won't go until I give the boots a voice.
Got it.
Which feels like a win.
Yeah.
And that is directly lifted from this book.
So what I'm hearing is that you have two books. You have the Raising Your Spirited Child book, which is about how like children are, full of personality that you want to nurture and you want to love, and then it's like how to talk to them so that this beautifully enlightened, fully realized child will put on their fucking boots.
Yeah. How do you trick them into not slowing down your life to a standstill? Yeah.
Like there are things that happen on a schedule. How do we live in this world with you, child?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
100%. Is it time?
It's time. So this has all been my ingenious segue into our permanent segment on this show, which is Adib makes parenting memes. I want to see the meme and I want to hear how you thought of it.
Oh, is this it? Okay. I tried to open this in a separate window. Whatever. I messaged it to myself. That's all we've got. Oh, wait. There we go. That'll give me a separate tab. All right, everybody, be cool.
Luckily, only cool people watch this show, so that's an easy directive.
All right, here we go. And so kind of an extension of last week's theme, but a different direction. So when my toddler won't eat any of the food she just asked me to make, and I am now suddenly Joe Exotic, I am never going to financially recover from it.
And I forget, do you remember, I forget, it's been a while since I've watched Tiger King. Do you remember what this screenshot is in response to? Like what happens at the zoo to make him say this?
Yeah, I believe this is when he basically like figures out that the show producers he's been working with are, I forget exactly what it is, but are basically like gonna blow up his spot, and there's some like fraud they're committing that like immediately gets revealed, and he says this.
Perfect.
And it's like it's very stupid the way in which it, is left open for the cameras.
Do you feel like you have spent a financially ruinous amount of food?
It's when one of the staff loses their arm. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was like, because I had this vague memory.
That's better. Yep.
I had this vague memory of like something terrible happening and him like going, "We're gonna lose all our money," and I'm like,
Yeah. And that staff member is also one of his most ardent supporters still.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people in that documentary are like, that person can hang. It's just, the bosses who, it's the rot comes from the top, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like insurance.
Just like insurance.
Insurance and roadside zoos. Yeah. So my process here, it came out of, this is me dealing with some actual like pain and frustration, which is, it's hard to really explain because this happens a lot, that a kid will ask for a specific thing and then not want the thing. And when it's a perishable, then more or less that thing is done, especially because kids are disgusting virus carriers. And like before the pandemic, I was fine eating her food, and now I really don't like to. So we kind of just waste a lot of food. And so it gets under my skin on a very base level. And so I kind of had to make fun of myself to get through it.
I see.
Yeah.
This is like real. This is the art from your pain. You
100%.
have, and did this work? Did this hit it out of the park with the other parents in the parenting forum?
It did. So I actually thought of this a little. We have a meme thread on Mondays, and I thought about this on Tuesday and made this. So I added it late to the thread, and it still had a second life. So that felt very good, you know. Yeah, it's a strong. It's true for older kids. They love applesauce. You buy Costco size. It's the grossest thing ever. Yeah, spend a lot of fucking money on food for kids.
I remember like I have vague memories of like refusing to eat stuff that my mom made and in retrospect going like, oh, that would be annoying if I were the mom. Aren't I glad I'm not in that position?
Yeah. And I'm grateful. Like it is way worse for other parents more than it is for me. With this choosiness. I know our friend Ryan Daly he's described Rowan's culinary tastes as. So I was getting them a meal train dinner when Cassie was born, and he said, yeah, just like, because I think we were getting like Indian food or something like that, and he's like, just get Rowan some bread. He's a little bitch about food.
Kit in the chat says, my parents avoided some of this because we were poor. If I didn't eat it, I didn't eat. Hunger is a good sauce. So you should just tell your children that this is all the. Oh, you already do
that. I do that too. I am grateful that I am not poor, but I want to teach that same value to my kids. And so when they won't eat, I really strongly encourage them to eat and try to keep it going. And I don't throw the food away, and I keep it out if they walk away. But yeah, we're not making 2 dinners for them. Hell no.
Hell no. And I think we're reaching the end of the show. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you for your wonderful meme. I'm excited for next week's meme. Hopefully made from less pain than this week's meme.
And will I venture away from food next week? We've had 2 straight food memes. So
I feel like you are very like you love preparing food. And I feel like it's a big part of you. So
that's very true.
It makes sense that your memes have tended to congregate in that direction.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to be like make fewer food memes. I think it's beautiful what you're making.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll just see where the muses take me, you know?
Yeah. So we got our you got our parenting meme of the week. We saw some really funny, weird tweets. Adi, any sort of last parting words to our chat? Anything that you are taking away from this episode in particular?
I think the biggest thing to take away from this episode is to don't click on clickbait and try the fries when you're in Belgium.
Perfect. What I'm taking from it is you always want 2 parenting books, how to nourish your child's creativity and also how to get them to stop. Also, there is no more sublimely horrible sound than someone hitting crotch first into a marker while they're skiing. Also, don't put your nose in that if it might have contained radioactive material, and your kid is probably not a Martian. They're probably just being a weird little freak, which all children are definitionally. All children are little freaks.
Yeah, and that's their beauty.
That's their beauty. They're beautiful little gremlins.
Don't kill it and don't shame it.
But don't go to the sun Don't go to a tabloid to talk about how weird your kid is, because that's weird. That's you being weird. That's you being the problem.
I hope the kid got a lot of that money.
Yeah, I hope they all got money.
I doubt they did.
Pruly has had their clickbait addiction cured by this show, so I'm pretty happy with that. Otherwise, come back next week for more tweets, more memes, more hilarious commentary, maybe a new guest. I tried to get a guest this week. It was hard, but I'll try to get a guest for next week, and maybe I'll do it. We'll see. No promises, because I don't like them. Promises, I mean, not guests. I love guests. Hate promises. But anyways, this has been Rachel. This has been Dee. This has been Honorable Mentions. Good night, good luck, and good posting.
I probably should have had this video ready. Good posting.
Dee, we